The encounter. A dark, rain-soaked city. The kind of place where streetlights flicker and shadows linger. Our protagonist, Ethan Cole, roams these streets. A seasoned but small-time thief with a troubled past. He wasn't always on this path. Once a promising student and a devoted son, he fell into crime after a tragic family loss left him financially broken and emotionally adrift. Ethan receives a tip about a valuable artifact held in the estate of Vincent Navarro, a wealthy, feared businessman with a criminal past. The prize is an ancient, jewel-encrusted cross worth a fortune on the black market. Ethan is hesitant. Rumors circulate about Navarro's violent ways, but his desperation for a big score wins out. Ethan sneaks into Navarro's mansion during a grand charity event, slipping through security with practiced ease. Inside, he makes his way to a secluded study, his fingers itching to secure the valuable relic. He finds it displayed on a pedestal beneath a glass case glowing faintly in the dim light. But as soon as he touches the cross, something strange happens. A jolt runs through him, like a low electric shock, and he hears a faint voice, almost a whisper, saying, "You have been chosen." The room seems to close in around him, and for a split second, he feels weightless, as if he's in another world. Shaken but determined, he stashes the cross in his bag and escapes into the night. The first vision. The next morning, Ethan tries to shake off the strange experience from the night before, dismissing it as nerves. But as he walks through the crowded streets, he starts seeing flashes. A little girl, terrified, hiding in a dark room, her face bruised. Her image appears for mere seconds, flickering in and out of his vision. He hears her name in his mind, Sarah. Ethan tries to ignore it, attributing it to lack of sleep. Yet the visions grow stronger, each time accompanied by a feeling of overwhelming urgency and sorrow. Finally, he decides to act, tracking down an address he saw in the vision. He finds Sarah, a girl no older than 8, huddled in a cold, dilapidated apartment, clearly in danger. Trusting his instincts, Ethan calls social services, staying until she is safely taken away. As she leaves, he notices a strange warmth coming from the cross in his bag. When he looks at it, it seems to glow, as though it's reacting to his good deed. The pattern emerges. The following days bring a series of similar visions. Ethan, initially resistant, finds himself pulled into situations where he can help. Each time he sees someone in need, an elderly man on the verge of eviction, a young mother in an abusive relationship, a street vendor who's lost everything, and each time he helps, the cross glows brighter, as if it's fueling his actions. However, these visions don't come without a cost. Ethan begins to feel drained, physically exhausted. At night, he hears whispers that grow louder, urging him to keep going. He's torn between wanting to follow this strange calling and fearing for his sanity, seeking answers. Unable to ignore the cross's power, Ethan seeks out Father Michael, a priest with a reputation for helping those troubled by mysterious phenomena. He meets Father Michael in a small, worn church tucked away from the city's bustling streets. Ethan explains everything, though it pains him to admit his criminal history. Father Michael listens, taking in each detail with a solemn look. Father Michael believes that Ethan's visions are divine, connected to an ancient relic rumored to have been blessed by one of Jesus' disciples. He tells Ethan that these relics have been known to choose those they deem worthy, especially those with the potential for redemption. Ethan scoffs, finding it ironic that he of all people would be chosen. But Father Michael insists that it's precisely because of his troubled past that he was chosen. Miracles and shadows. Emboldened by Father Michael's words, Ethan begins embracing his calling. He performs small acts of kindness throughout the city, each time the cross responding, glowing brighter. Word spreads about an anonymous angel in the city, but not everyone is pleased. Navarro, hearing whispers of a man with a glowing cross, becomes suspicious and hires his ruthless enforcer, Silas, to find Ethan and retrieve the relic. As Ethan helps more people, his visions intensify, showing him glimpses of Navarro and his plans. For the first time, he feels fear creeping back, knowing that his path has placed him in the crosshairs of a dangerous man. The trapped Silas finally tracks Ethan down, ambushing him in a dark alley. Ethan tries to escape, but Silas corners him, demanding the cross. Ethan refuses, saying it belongs to a higher purpose now. A fight ensues, with Ethan barely escaping, the cross shining bright enough to temporarily blind Silas. Ethan goes back to Father Michael, bleeding and shaken. Father Michael warns him that Navarro won't stop until he reclaims the cross. The priest offers to hide Ethan, but Ethan declines, saying he needs to continue his work, even if it costs him his life. The miracle deal. Ethan's next vision shows him something he wasn't expecting. Navarro's dying wife, lying in a hospital bed, suffering from an incurable illness. The vision urges him to go to Navarro's mansion and heal her. Father Michael warns him that it could be a trap, but Ethan feels compelled, believing it's his duty. Ethan goes to Navarro and offers to heal his wife in exchange for Navarro's promise to turn himself in and renounce his criminal empire. Navarro, desperate to save his wife, agrees, though there's a glint of malice in his eyes. The healing. In Navarro's mansion, Ethan places the cross over the woman's body, praying with every ounce of faith he has. Miraculously, she begins to recover, her eyes opening, her breathing normalizing. Navarro, overwhelmed, appears moved, almost repentant. But the moment passes, and as his wife falls asleep, Navarro's expression darkens. He orders Silas to kill Ethan, seeing him as a threat to his power. Father Michael's sacrifice. Just as Silas moves to execute Ethan, Father Michael arrives, having had his own vision. The priest confronts Navarro, revealing that he used to be part of Navarro's network but left, seeking redemption. In a tense showdown, Father Michael sacrifices himself, taking the bullet meant for Ethan, allowing Ethan a chance to escape. The final miracle. Ethan carries the dying Father Michael to safety, feeling guilt and helplessness. The cross is almost blindingly bright, and Ethan realizes he has one last miracle left. He begs God to let him use it for the priest, knowing it will take all his remaining life force. As he prays, the cross releases a powerful light, healing Father Michael. With his final breath, Ethan tells Father Michael to continue the mission. Ethan's body falls limp as the cross fades to a dull, ordinary piece of metal. Legacy of the Blessed Thief. In the months following, Father Michael carries the cross, now his burden to bear. Inspired by Ethan's story, he sets up a mission to help those in need. Stories of the Blessed Thief circulate through the city, a legend of redemption and faith. Ethan's transformation, from thief to savior, leaves an indelible mark on those who knew him, reminding them of the power of faith, sacrifice, and the possibility of redemption, no matter one's past.